Introduction to Scales. We start with just a few scales that have almost the same notes. These are called closely related keys, and we're going to build this your understanding very gradually, starting with these three sets of notes, and then over time we'll build out more scales. But first, let's get the basic progression from one scale to another figured out so that you can really have this locked down. We start with the C major scale, which is all white notes from C to C. Give it a listen. Notice each letter only happens one time in an octave. Oops. That's a very important principle that every note in a scale, or every letter in a scale, only happens one time. Okay, so we've got from C to C, all white notes. Every note or every letter only happens once. Now we can walk down a third in the scale to find something different. We find ourselves on A, and if we build a white note scale from A to A, we have the A minor scale. It's all the same notes, but since we're going from and to an A, we have a very different quality of sound. Same family members. And so what we say is we say A minor is C major's relative minor. Okay? A minor is C major's relative minor. And the reverse is true. C major is A minor's relative major. And now think and sing La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Now notice, some of you might notice, let's see, I'll clean this up a little bit. La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. If I stop on So and don't continue, it doesn't give you quite the sense of discomfort that it would if I were to go Do, start on Do and go Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Right? We've talked about the leading tone. Ti resolves to Do. But in this case, when we go from La to La, there's a different feeling. And now we can come back to C and be back to the original group. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Notice the only half steps. The only half steps in this arrangement are from Fa to Mi and from Ti, our leading tone, to do. So you might think to yourself, and I encourage you to think, that fa falls to me. And ti leads to do. So that's C major and A minor. Okay, now we're going to walk up a fifth in C major to find G. And if we play all the white notes from G to G, we notice something. We're trying to make it sound like a major scale from G to G, but it doesn't quite sound like a major scale for some reason. To make it sound like a major scale, we need to raise this seventh note up by a half step Oh, it's giving us all sorts of terrible options. We want it to be an F sharp so that we can obey this rule that every letter only happens once in an octave. And so now we have the G major scale. We raise that seventh note up by a half step to make it the leading tone, and now we have from G to G, but now we have an F sharp instead of an F natural. Or we can think do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And notice that the only half steps still, now that we've made this little change, are from fa to mi, fa falling to mi, and from ti leading to do. Now we can walk down a third in the scale. And using all the same notes in the G major scale, we have a new scale, the E minor scale. Same family members, same notes, but now E minor is G major's relative minor. Same notes. Note each letter name only happens once in an octave. So we can see that there's an E, and an F sharp, a G, an A, a B, a C, a D, and we can also think and sing la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And now we can return back to the G major scale with our leading tone. We hear this is do. All right, now we're just going to jump back to C major. introduce a new scale. If we walk down a fifth from C major, or from C in C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we find F. And if we play all the white notes from F to F, hoping to hear something that sounds like the F major scale, we have something different that happens. Let's listen to this. You might have noticed that this note, this B here, sounds funky. And so we're going to lower that down a half step to make it our Fa. Notice it's not an A sharp like the computer wanted to do just then. It is a B flat because each letter name only happens once in an octave. So we've got F, some kind of G, some kind of A, definitely messed that up, some kind of B flat, some kind of C, some kind of D, some kind of E. And you can think and sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we've got a new major scale, our F major scale, which always contains a B flat. Now notice that the only half steps in this major scale are from Fa, falling to Mi, and from Ti, leading up to Do. The only half steps in the major scale are from Fa down to Mi, and from Ti, leading up to Do. All right, now let's walk down a third in this scale. And now let's play all the same notes, but including the B flat. The same family members. D minor is F major's relative minor. Notice, each letter name only happens once in an octave. I've said it before, I'll say it again. So you can think those letter names. You can also think La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. And then you can bring it back to the major, the relative major of D minor, which is F major. Oops. I guess I have to do that again.